I'll talk a little sports. We'll talk Deshaun Watson. Obviously, we know with some of the reports that came out as of late, in 2019 and 2020, he met with up to 66 different masseuses to get a massage from time to time. Um, and and these were some of the accusers who um, accused him of inappropriate sexual conduct during some of the sessions. So he did a press conference this week, a few days ago, um, trying to get in front of it. Obviously, some people in the NFL were saying that the Browns should cut him. If they cut him now, they can save roughly $200 million of the 230 they've essentially guaranteed him, and he would be gone, and other team would pick him up after the suspension or whatever. But I think the PR part is just too much to get around now. You knew ahead of time, going into it, that these were accusers that 22, 20 at the time. I think two or three had came up. So now you have up to 24. So you kind of knew all this information before you still, gave them $230 million guaranteed, which is your choice. There's nothing wrong with that because some people on the side of the law. The law says he was not criminally charged with anything and he's not being convicted. So civil allegations and settlements happen every day. And sometimes people say, well, settlement does not mean that someone is guilty. So it all depends on what side of the table you stand on. But, I just think the press conference to me wasn't needed. It didn't help anything. It didn't hurt anything, but it didn't help anything. He was saying, I'm the leader of the team, so I want to speak out. The problem is he's going to be suspended for roughly a year or two. So if you look at a similar case with Trevor Bauer, MLB player, pitcher, similar, not similar as in rape and the number of women, but it was inappropriate sexual contact with one person, and another girl sued him for basically rough sex. No criminal allegations, no criminal charges and stuff like that, but settlements. And he was suspended for 2 years because of the sheer number, and his number was two or three. But when you have 24 and a total of 66 different masseuses that you made appointments with, and some women have said, I'm not a part of that lawsuit, but I do have some of those same feelings towards what he did to me, and I signed an NDA, so I don't know how to get around that. And that's another thing with the Texans. The Texans may be held liable, but a lot of this happens on a daily basis. If you have someone that's bringing you so much money, but is doing something that you may say is inappropriate, somewhat may say may be illegal. Obviously, the criminal justice system said it's not illegal, so we're gonna go with that. Um, and they decided they wanted to protect their interests. So they gave him an NDA and said, "Hey, every masseuse you meet with, has to sign this form." They also say, "Can you do these things at this country club?" They put him at a private place and said, "Hey, can you do all these things here?" He did most of them there, whatever, and that's kind of where they will be held liable. Now, currently, they're not part of the civil lawsuit. Currently, it's just Deshaun Watson, but I think a good lawyer would kind of wrap them into the lawsuit, and that may be down the line. They could obviously settle a part with Deshaun Watson, then later on settle it with the NFL slash the Texans. But I do think he'll be suspended for at least a year. I think probably it will probably be 2 years, but it should probably be retroactive. Technically, he's already been suspended. The man has already not played a whole NFL season. So it's going to be interesting if you suspend him for a year or two, what part of that would be retroactive. But he said he's getting help, so we'll see. But I think it's unfortunate that, I think differently. I'm like, the world was going through a lot in 2020. None of us ever been here. People were dying, people were getting sick, travel was impacted, and a lot of stuff was going on. And he was getting Groupon rub downs like crazy.